What is up, world? Welcome back to another Studio Saturdays, and today we're going to be discussing how to make bioluminescent animals, creatures, or objects in Photoshop. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and just takes a little bit of tinkering. And let's jump right into Photoshop. So now that we're in Photoshop, we have this image here. I shot this recently at an arcade with some beautiful lighting and stuff like that. So we have a nice cyan lighting. And one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to add in some butterflies, just some bioluminescent butterflies, you know? So we're just gonna grab our lasso tool here really quick, draw an obscure circle around this, Control or Command C, and then we're gonna go Control or Command V, and we're gonna paste that in like so. We're also gonna make this into a folder, and we're gonna put it into group 1. We're gonna name this Butterfly 1, or Butter 1 because I can't spell fly. So we're gonna make sure it's in that folder, like so. And the first thing we're gonna do is duplicate it 3 more times, so 4, depending on how many you prefer. Now you're gonna slowly turn off each one of these copies until you're back to down just on the first copy. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And the ratio that I've figured out for this is basically you're gonna wanna go around 2.5% off of your original percentage. So if you blur like I am doing right now, to 5%, so then you're gonna wanna go 2.5 times that again for the next layer. So then 2.5 times 5 is 12, I think. Yeah, we're gonna go with 12. And then we're gonna go up to the third layer. We're gonna go Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and then you're gonna go 2.5 times that again. So that's gonna put you at what? 24 plus half that is 12 plus 36. So now you're gonna go to 36. I'm sure none of these numbers are right. But then we're gonna go to the fourth and final layer, and we're gonna go Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I don't know how many 2.5 times is this, so we're just gonna pull it up to like 130-ish. And then what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna go into selecting a hue and saturation mask. We're gonna go down here and make sure we select our blues, and we're gonna boost our saturation, and then also our lightness up slightly. Actually, we're going to tone our lightness down, and then you want to right click this and create a clipping mask down to this layer. Then what you're going to do is select each layer, change the blend mode to screen. So now you have a bright bioluminescent butterfly, and what you're going to do is basically you can half each one of these exposures like so. So you can turn the opacity down to about half. If you want as well, you can come in here, add in another hue and saturation layer. We're going to drag this one down into this one, and we're going to create a clipping mask again, down to the one below it. We're going to make sure we're selected on our blues. We're going to up that saturation as well. So this way you can start to add in a little bit more effects and stuff like that. We're going to try and match the scene around it as well. So as you can see, now we have just this whole layer. So we're going to Shift and then click all the way down the layer, Command T or Control T. We're going to pull it right up to her kneecap. We're going to spin it slightly so it's looking up at her right off the top of her kneecap. And then we're just going to upsize it very slightly, just like so. Just to be roughly the same size as her kneecap, so it gives her eyes subject to look at. And then we're going to repeat this process for another butterfly. And we're going to take a different butterfly here. Now what I am going to be doing is color shift. If you guys don't know what a color shift is, I've done this in a previous video, so I'll have the link for that down in the bio if you guys want to know how to do the color shift. I won't be explaining it here, I'll just be running through it rather quickly. Now, as you can see, once again, you have yet another bioluminescent butterfly. So it gives off a nice little glow, and if you really wanted to, especially on this bottom layer, I think it's a little too harsh of a line on the outside here. We're going to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. We're just going to blur the edge of that butterfly just ever so slightly. Just around 2 pixels. Just to really kind of give it a little bit of a hazing effect to it. And we're going to add one more butterfly in, probably roughly around the shoulder area. But I think we're going to go back to our first butterfly right here, just because I like this one. It's already blue, but we're actually going to do another color shift on it. hue and saturation mask for just the blues as well. Create a clipping mask to make sure it pastes into the right layer. And we can basically shift it to be a nice, very, very aquamarine color, like so. So now we have a nice aquamarine colored butterfly. We're going to actually merge these down now onto just our butterfly. We're going to Control T, move it up here, and we're going to flip it vertically, putting it right along on the shoulder here, making it a bit larger as well, giving it a slight angle, and then we're just going to repeat the process again. And then the final thing we're actually going to do is we're going to add in some bokeh just to really blend the whole scene together quite nicely. So I already made a new folder for my bokeh. I'm going to Control V my bokeh in here. I'm going to flip it at a 90-degree angle so that it fits well with the portrait style. We're going to actually make it rather large here, and then we're going to hit it with a perspective skew. So if you guys haven't seen this yet, I've already done a video on this on my channel as well. And then the same blend mode we're going to be using is screen. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to come in and we're going to erase part of the bokeh off of the image here. So this way we aren't taking too much away from her, but still adding some nice bokeh into the image. And just like that, added in some bokeh to the image. Although I don't like the angle of it, I think I'm going to leave it pasted plain. So we're just going to swap this to a 90-degree. And then we're just going to pull it like so, just till it fits the frame. Like so. We're going to OK that. Change the blend mode to screen. And then a lot of this is literally just to taste, basically. It's almost like cooking. So however you want to do it, you could leave the bokeh and effects all over her, or you can change them, move them away. It's literally how you want it to be, because it is art, and art is whatever you make it. Add in some nice bokeh, some beautiful lighting, and then that's going to be your image. So we're going to take this, and we're actually going to flatten out this whole image now. So we're going to flatten that image. Now we're going to go in here, and we're actually going to open up the original image. So we're going to open up our original image now, so you guys could really see how far this image came from. So this was the original image, and there is our final image. So started out dull, dry, and then we added in some nice warm tones, some teal tones, kept in a nice orange-esque vibe. Added in some bokeh and some bioluminescent butterflies, and you have yourself a pretty dang good looking image. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys did find this tutorial helpful on how to make bioluminescent objects, it's the same process repeated with anything you want to make bioluminescent in any color you want. I just felt that the blue cyan would fit better in this scene simply because it went well. Although butterflies aren't ever really in arcades, but you guys get the drift. I really do hope this helped you guys. If you do have a suggestion for a future video or something you want me to cover more in depth, feel free to drop it down below in the comment section. If the video did help you on creating a bioluminescent object for your photo manipulation and or photo editing, hit that like button. If you guys are new here and this was some sort of helpful tip, trick, or tutorial for you, please hit that subscribe button, as I do upload every Saturday with a new Photoshop tutorial. Other than that, I hope to see you guys next Saturday. Peace.